Who are we and why our leaders run in Nigeria like their private companies? If we don't know who we are, we would never make any impactful change. It is important to know who we are, and I want to tell you briefly. Nigeria was never created as a nation. It was all about business, profit, and money. None of it for us. The area now known as Nigeria was called a slave coast up to 1870. That was the point at which British had stopped slave trading and moved to palm oil as their primary commodity out of Nigeria. One of the main suppliers of palm oil was the Benin Kingdom. Oba of Varanwe was the Oba of Benin as of then. His fight with the British Empire over palm oil is one of the greatest stories of African colonial history. A man called George Gordon set up a United African Company in 1879. United African Company was later changed to National African Company. He structured the palm oil business in Niger Delta region in 1884. He structured the palm oil business in Niger Delta region, and by 1884, he had the monopoly that British would exploit. In 1886, Gordon violated the agreement he had with the chiefs and moved his operations into River Niger and River Benue. The company later renamed the Royal Niger Company. He tricked the chiefs into signing unfair trade deals, giving him exclusive right to export palm oil instead of what the chiefs thought would be a free trade agreement. These contracts were written in English, the language we didn't understand, and the laws that weren't our own. There was a meeting called Berlin Conference in 1884-1885, set up by first Germany's Chancellor Otto von Bismarck. No African was part of that meeting. This was where the colonial powers discussed how to carve up Africa and structure trade across our continent. We were not part of these conversations. At this conference, the Kingdom of Opobo was given to Britain. When King Jaja of Opobo tried to export his own oil, he was accused of obstructing commerce and was abducted and exiled. In 1889, King Jaja of Opobo was granted freedom, but on his way home, he was poisoned with a cup of tea. MKO Abiola on my mind. The story of King Jaja of Opobo made other chiefs wary of dealings with the British. King Koko of Nembe Brass was one of them. He tried to take down the Niger Royal Company. He attacked the headquarters in Akassa, now Bayelsa State. On January 29, 1895, King Koko captured 60 white men and lost 40 of his own soldiers. He used the 60 hostages to demand to be allowed for free trade. Kidnapping in my mind in Bayelsa area. You know how it started now. That was the agreement King Koko believed he signed with the British company. They refused and he buyed 40 of his hostages. The British Royal Navy retaliated by leveling the city of Brass completely. On February 20th, 1895, King Koko went into exile. The British did not only take over the palm oil business, but fined his people £500 and confiscated their weapons. Tragically, King Koko committed suicide in 1898 after being branded an outlaw by the British company. The British company took over the entire Nembe Brass, Akassa, and the entire kingdom entirely. In 1800, the Niger Royal Company was sold to British government for £865. This company was known as Nigeria. I said this company was known as Nigeria. In 1914, the Northern and Southern Protectorate was combined by Lord Lugard. The Royal Niger Company was rebranded as a country which would gain independence on October 1st, 1960. The company itself changed its name to Niger Company Limited and was acquired by Unilever. Unilever still operates in Nigeria today. We have a very long way to go to fix the country. Now you know why your so-called leaders run your country like a private business, divide and cheer, kill and divide. The politics of the politicians by the politicians for the politicians. Now your question will be, how would we fix this country when we don't know our origin, our foundation, and who we are, and what brought us where we are? We should know the foundation of our problem for us to offer the solutions to our problems. This video is just a part of the conditions that led to the unrest, civil wars, and economic instability. Tribalism, hate, religious bigotism. This video is not aimed on blaming anybody or asking anybody to fix this country for us, for the purpose of knowledge. This is about knowing who we are. Nigeria was never created as a country, but as a company for business, for money, for profit. Not for us, but for them. It was a company designed by the colonizers for profit. A lot of infrastructures put in place for the siphoning of our resources are still in place today. Today, crude oil simply replaced palm oil. And very soon, lithium will replace crude oil, all for profit of your colonial masters. Do you know why Nigeria should not have a refinery of their own? Do you think the government cannot build it? It is underground agreement signed. They cannot do otherwise. Do you question why your Niger country don't know the number of barrels produced daily by the NNPC? Have you ever asked so many questions why your oil is being refined abroad and transported back and you pay subsidy to buy your own oil? Have you asked questions? I feel so sad, not just for what happened to my ancestors, but for the fact that I was not taught my own history in school, and my children and the children of my own children will not be taught. And you prohibit my own history and want me to address you as a leader? We fight ourselves, we cause ourselves tribalism, religiosity, and all this every day, everywhere, in social media, in the street, and all over, in the name of what we don't know, because we don't know who we are. They didn't tell us. Every Nigerian should know about Nigeria. You know who you are, and you know the foundation of your problem, and you know how to offer solution. Get prepared, get ready, stand up for what is right. One love.